So just take a look for a moment at the response to text essay. This is what's due Thursday at the start of class to turnitin.com. This one is 3 pages. Go back to the other length. 4 quotes, once again. And with this one, you are going to get to choose any topic from Hamlet. The prompt itself is choose a theme central to the play and discuss it. Any topic you see in Hamlet. Maybe it's the topic of death. Maybe it's the theme of insanity. Maybe it's the idea of revenge. Or perhaps you want to write about friendship and look at Horatio in Hamlet. Maybe you want to write about romance or love in Hamlet and look at Gertrude and Claudius, Hamlet and Ophelia. Maybe you want to write about father issues. Hamlet with his father, Laertes and his father, because if you think about it, Laertes is avenging the death of his father, Hamlet's avenging the death of his father. Even Fortinbras has issues with his father. Maybe you want to write about the idea of war. Maybe you want to write about the idea of marriage. Whatever it is you want to write about, think through what would make for an interesting essay and choose a single theme or topic, and then write your essay around that. So your introduction would start in a broad way and then narrow down to your topic. And then, of course, you would go through the rest of the essay with 3 body paragraphs. Starting next Thursday, you're going to be getting some feedback on your earlier essays, so you can begin to tweak future essays to the grades that you desire. Now, with the in-class essay that you just wrote over Hamlet, take a look at the text again where you just were on page 251. Hamlet is holding the skull of Yorick. And in line 209, he says this: "To what base uses we may return, Horatio? Why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander till he find it stopping a bunghole?" Horatio says, "'Twere to consider too curiously to consider so." Hamlet says, "No, faith, not a jot, but to follow him thither with modesty enough and likelihood to lead it, as thus." And here is the train of logic. Alexander died, point 1. Alexander was buried, point 2. Alexander returned to dust. How does that happen?
He
Decomposes. Body returns to dust. The dust is earth. Of earth we make loam. All sorts of products. Loam is what would stop the bunghole. And why of that loam whereto he was converted might they not stop a beer barrel? Then he says this: "Imperious Caesar, Julius Caesar, dead and turned to clay, earth, clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth, Caesar, which kept the world in awe, should patch a wall to expel a winter's flaw." Think about this for just a moment. Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, the 2 most important figures in history, the 2 most well-known figures in history. Alexander the Great, who by the age of 33 had conquered the known world, who did more in his short span of years than virtually any of us could hope to do in a lifetime. In fact, it is said that when Caesar was 33 years old, he read an account of the life of Alexander and wept, thinking, "I will never accomplish what Alexander did." Then Caesar went on to accomplish virtually as much. These 2 great men died, buried, turned to dust. And of that dust, maybe some of it was used to patch a hole in a wall. Imagine there's a hole in the hut. Someone grabs some clay and patches that hole. That clay was made of the earth. Of the earth was Caesar and Alexander. To what base uses we return? What does the word base mean in that context?
Simple, original.
Simple or low? Lowly. We turn to dust and the dust gets kicked around. We might have been a king or an emperor or a president. But in the end, we're all what? Therefore, death is the great what? Equalizer. Just like, what's his name? Denzel. Anyway, it's the great equalizer. No matter who you are in your station in life, all of you are equal in death. You all turn to dust. The great Julius Caesar might be patching a hole in a wall. The great Alexander the Great might be at the bottom of a beer barrel. How would you then word the central purpose of Hamlet's view on death? Ola, what would you say?
That is an equalizer.
You would, which is fine. I mean, I was hoping you'd come up with some lofty use of your own words.
Okay.
It is an equalizer, but in what way? Not that it brings people up, but that it does what?
Brings them down.
Brings them down. Everybody's reduced to the same means in the end. In the end, you're just a pile of flesh that will eventually decay. Oh, what base uses we return to. These are Hamlet's musings prior to his altercation with Laertes. We're going to watch a couple minutes of the very end of the play so you can capture this final scene in all of its glory. Keep in mind our death count.
No, it's
Yes, true. Glory, glory. Polonius dies, but then in this scene, Laertes dies, Hamlet dies, Gertrude dies, Claudius dies. How does Gertrude die?
Drinks the poison that
The poison that Claudius intended for Hamlet to drink. And how does Hamlet die?
drinks the poison.
Stabbed by a poison-tipped sword. The same sword he uses to stab Laertes and to stab Claudius while he's making Claudius drink the poison. It's beautiful. So watch this scene as it plays out.